So we have just started a new chapter known as is the matter around us pure or not. So on the discussion in the last video, we had discussed about the substances, the mixtures and the properties of the mixture. So after that, our total concentration today will be on a topic which is just a derivation of the mixture known as solution. So today we are going to discuss solution. Now solution, this particular chapter is there in class 12 also, but in class 9 we are going to discuss about the basic of this particular topic, solution. So what is it basically? To discuss that, I would like to ask that what happens when we take a little bit of sugar cube in a glass of water. We have seen that the sugar cube disappears if we mix it properly. What is the reason? Why is the disappearance of the sugar cube? Both are different substances, right? Water and the sugar cube. So one of them is suddenly disappears. Whether the property of the water and the property of sugar cube mixed with water, is it same? Definitely not. The taste also differs. So we know, all of us in our daily life, we have understood that that is called the sugar solution. Similarly, if you take NaCl, little bit of NaCl, say 1 gram, and if you take 100 ml water, if you mix these two, it will also give rise to NaCl solution. More precisely, we can call it aqueous solution. Aqueous because water is involved. Now, the property of water and the property of NaCl solution, is it same? Definitely not. Throughout, if I take a glass, suppose up to this the solution is there. If you take little bit of portion from here and if you take little bit of portion from here, two samples, whether the taste will be same? Yes, definitely. For a true solution, the taste should be same if it is mixed properly. So that is what a solution is. It is nothing but a homogeneous mixture of, very important, homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So it is a homogeneous mixture. Again, I am telling you this term is very important. Homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Now, homogeneous, heterogeneous, both type of mixture we have discussed on the last video also. We will rediscuss the homogeneous mixture. How can we define homogeneous mixture? Again, the example of sugar solution, example of NaCl solution can be given. What happens over there? That if it is mixed properly, if little amount of solute is taken and if it is mixed with larger amount of water, if it will be completely mixed. So the taste or the properties should be expected to be same throughout. So homogeneous mixture means physically or chemically same throughout. That is the property or the main thing of homogeneous mixture. Next, we are going to observe the terms of solution. Terms means if a solution is prepared, it is basically a combination of solute plus solvent. If I take sodium chloride and if I take water, it becomes NaCl solution. So NaCl is called solute and H2O is called solvent. Now the question is why? In this NaCl solution, the amount of NaCl is very less and amount of water is more. So, in order to define the solute, one can say substance which is present in less quantity. Of course, it is present in less quantity. It is not only about sodium chloride and water. I have just given this example. So, which is present in less quantity and determines the chemical property, determines most of the chemical as well as physical, some of the physical, that is known as the solute. Now, why it is written chemical as well as physical property? Remember, in a sodium chloride solution, whether it is going to react or not, what will be its taste, what will be its boiling point, that depends on this sodium chloride. So, obviously, some of the property will be depending on water also, like boiling point depends on water as well as sodium chloride. But most of the properties will be depending on sodium chloride itself. So, although it is present in less amount, less quantity, but it determines the chemical as well as physical property. Similarly, if we talk about solute we have talked. If we talk about solvent means it is present in higher quantity and very important, and it determines the physical state of solution. Very, very important. It determines the physical state. Why it is so? Here, this one is solid, right? And this one is liquid. In this case, obviously, sodium chloride is solid and water is liquid. What is the physical state of NaCl solution? It is liquid. You take copper sulfate, and if you take water, it forms CuSO4 solution. So this is solid, this is liquid, but the resultant is liquid. So whatever is the physical state of the solvent, that will be the physical state of the solution. That is why it is written, it determines the physical state. Whenever we talk about solution, it is coming into our mind. Let us make this solute and solvent. We always used to think that this, if I take sugar and if I take water, the solution becomes sugar solution. Fine. Similarly, if I take sodium chloride and if I take water, it becomes NaCl solution. But is it always the case that these two are obviously solid and this is obviously liquid? The question is it always the case that the solute should be solid and the solvent should be liquid. That is what we are going to see. Actually, it is not necessary. There are numerous examples. Say for an example, that is air. Air, if it is dustless because if the dust is present, obviously the homogeneous nature of the dust will not be there in air. So homogeneous nature of the solution is disturbed. But for dustless air, it is mostly 77% nitrogen and 20% oxygen, and this 3% is other gases. Here you see amount which is less, these are the solute, the amount which is more, that is solvent. So here also it is not solid liquid case. Another example we can give, say we can take C2H5OH, we call it ethyl alcohol, and if you take water, it forms alcohol solution. So it is liquid, this is also liquid, this is also liquid. Similarly, if you take brass, we use this is an alloy, right? This is an alloy. So here it is 70% copper, brass is 70% copper and 30% zinc. So zinc is less in amount, so here it is solute should be zinc and solvent should be copper. So this is solid, this is also solid. So solid case also can give rise to the formation of the solution. There are numerous examples like this. Iodine can be dissolved in carbon tetrachloride. Sulfur can be dissolved in carbon disulfide. If iodine is dissolved in carbon tetrachloride, sulfur is dissolved in carbon disulfide. Here you can see the solvent. This is called non-aqueous solvent in both the cases. So the solution is called non-aqueous solution. So we have seen various type of examples of solution. Some of them are not the usual water and the solute is solid. Some of them are having liquid case. Some of them are solid. Some of them are having no water in between them, but yet it is solid liquid case. So various type of examples we have seen. Now let us discuss about some properties of true solution. Properties of true solution. True solution. That means we, in a simple way, we will try to understand that true solution means where we have taken little bit of solute, larger amount of solvent, and it is properly mixed. In that case, followings will be observed. First is solute and solvent cannot be separated visibly, means by looking at it you cannot separate the solute and solvent even by microscope. With the help of microscope also we cannot distinguish which one is solute molecule, which one is solvent. Second is the diameter of the solute molecules. It should be 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Order of the diameter of solute molecules, means it is fine solid. Next is filtration. By filtration method, you cannot separate them. If you take a filter paper and if you are trying to separate the solute and solvent, if you are thinking that solute particles will be stuck into the filter paper and the solvent will be separated, solvent will be coming out, that won't happen. Suppose we take mud and water, and if we are mixing it, if we are passing through a filter paper, what do we expect? Mud will be stuck into the filter paper, we can separate it from the clear water, but here it cannot be done. So filtration method is not enough to separate solute and solvent. A true solution is always transparent. A true solution, there should not be any turbidity. We have seen already, if I mix sodium chloride and if I mix it in water and if I mix it sufficiently enough, obviously there will be no turbidity, it will be crystal clear like water only. So a true solution should be clear and transparent. And the last one, we have observed that if I am passing the light through a colloidal solution, it is observed in higher classes though, if the light is passed through a colloidal solution, just to remember this line, obviously details are not discussed in the lower classes, the colloidal solution actually scatters the light, but here the true solution cannot scatter the light. So for the time being, just to remember, it does not scatter the light. Again I am telling you, the scattering is a phenomena, and which are the solutions which can scatter in class 12 is only it is there. So for the time being, you just remember, a true solution will not scatter the light. One more point I need to mention, although here there is no space, point number 6 rather, just an additional point, that the solute molecules are adjusted or incorporated, means it is taken in the porous places of solvent. What does it mean? Porous place, that means there are some vacant places within the solvent molecules, and solute molecules are adjusted into that vacancy. Means suppose this is a solvent molecule, it may be the case that there is a porosity, you can see this region. So solute molecules are basically adjusted into that vacant space. Details of it you are going to discuss, we are going to understand in +2 only, but for the time being we have to understand that solute particles are adjusted into the porous places of the solvent. My target will be to discuss a little bit higher standard, so that we understand what is a solution. Remember, same thing will be discussed in higher classes, so why not little bit of this topic we should know from here only, at least the terms like scattering. It does not do the scattering, porosity. Solvent molecules will have some vacant places. There only solute molecules will come and adjust. So these are the things we need to know.